We should be going up anytime soon. Alright, we're up on YouTube. And there goes
Hello,
Twitch.
YouTube.
We're up on YouTube,
Howdy,
and I
Twitch.
can hear us. That's good.
And there goes
Hello,
Twitch. Alright. Alright, cool. Volume's working on all of them. Hello, and welcome back. Or welcome. Hopefully,
Rude
we
thing,
got we
Luke.
got we got two whole followers last week. Hopefully they show up maybe in Twitch. That'd be
Let's
cool.
go.
But yeah, this week we watched a movie. It's called Perfect Blue. It's a 90s, right? When did it come out?
97.
97.
97. Yep, this is an Izzy suggestion, so if you want to give us a brief synopsis rundown, it's going to be pretty hard for this one, but as brief as you
I
can,
guess,
I
yeah.
guess.
All right. It's a story following Mima Kiragoe, a pop idol, and she quits her girl group to pursue acting. And at the beginning of her career, she has to transition i- into more mature or serious roles to hit elite status for actress. But her sense of reality begins to collapse under the pressure of the fame, the apparent like stalker, and I guess the trauma amongst the story of the murders of her colleagues. So yeah, follows this girl and just the story of how that develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, at the beginning, it seems like her pop group, her idol group, is like in the beginning
Fam.
stages of fame because they're putting on like a
Yeah.
small concert and like it's like there's these three dudes who are like extremely devoted fans of the pop group and Mima herself, and they're like at everything she does. And there's
Yeah.
also some fucking creep.
Breed looking motherfucker. I mean, they made him look like fucking Shrek,
And
but
so,
Japanese style.
yeah, and then she quits the pop group to go do movies, so she's in the throes of becoming mega famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
she's
it's
making that transition,
A
yeah.
solo
uh,
leap.
becoming an idol and then trying to becoming something serious as an actress. And it gets pretty
Yeah.
fucking wild.
I guess it's just been a couple years now to where the group has established a little bit and she just wants to seek that new role.
Yeah, her manager was the one that seemed like talking her into it at the beginning, if I remember
Yep.
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah, her manager. She has like, I guess she works with the group because she has like two managers.
Or I guess an agent,
I'd
I
say
guess
it's
would
like
be
a
a better
An
way
agent.
to say it.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Rumi
All
and
right.
Takagoda, whatever.
Shall we go through these categories of
Yeah, let's go ahead and
the
start
whole
it.
movie?
Let's get into
Cool.
it.
All right. Story and the writing of the movie. Did it make sense and did it keep you hooked?
it was it was definitely hooked. It kept me hooked, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
at points it got so confusing on what the hell was going on. Especially like up to the point where she started like every day kind of flowed into like one, and like each scene was broken up by her waking up.
Uh-huh.
That's when it started getting real confusing for me at
yeah. Like
least.
Yep.
it definitely kept me on my seat. I tried watching it, so I've been trying in my journey of watching subtitles with English subtitles, Japanese dub. I tried it on this one, and man, I had to turn it off. I had to switch to English because I could not pay attention and read subtitles at the same time. And when it got to point where she was like waking up from dreams, I had to turn it off at that point because it was like everything was going so fast, and it got
Yeah.
so confusing at that point. And I'm still a little confused, but maybe I'm just dumb.
Yeah.
I do think the plot was definitely built in a very like realistic way to where whenever she starts to blur through I guess her sense of reality, which we'll touch upon the audio or the sound side, you'd have those audible triggers of like something's happening, and then the suspense and the tension whenever she's like seeing that dude and he disappears and then reappears. Like I was left confused whenever that happened too.
Yeah, it was like a number one. I just want to put this out there. Good watch. Definitely suggest it. However, you have to be ready for like a complete mind fuck.
Yeah,
And
this is definitely not one you can put on for background. If you're doing
no,
something else
Oh,
while trying to
it's
watch
something you
this,
yeah, I had to switch from subtitles, big dog. Yeah, you got to pay attention to this.
yeah,
It was very yes, it kept me on my feet and it kept me engaged the entire time. However, half of that time I have no idea what's happening. Like it goes through so many emotions back to
yeah.
back to back to back.
yeah, and there's a major plot twist at the end. We won't spoil it, but even that was confusing because I was like, which one of them is the one that's fucked up in the head?
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
want to get into that a little bit whenever we I guess get through some of these points because the the last fight scene, I got something that I don't understand, and maybe Izzy can shed some light onto me.
Sure.
Yeah,
But we'll get to that maybe later on.
as far as writing goes, it seems like it's good, but like I said when we were texting earlier in the week, I think it may suffer a little bit from like early, like super early anime translation issues. I feel like it could have. I don't know if they like got the writer's intent across as well as they were trying. I don't
Probably.
know if that's true or not. I don't know if it does suffer from any
I mean,
translation issues,
yeah. I mean,
but
we don't speak Japanese.
I feel like some things were could have been explained a little better and weren't. But I don't
Yeah,
know if that's like leading to the mystery of the movie or if that's leading to if like whoever dubbed this back in the day because it came out in the 90s, so there wasn't very many people doing that. You know, I don't know if some things were left out because of time restraints or because like one word in Japanese could be a whole sentence in English and you got to make it
yeah.
fit with the mouth animations. So I don't know if that was a problem or not.
Well, I did the English dub for about half of it, and I don't feel. I feel like in the middle again, going back to whenever she was like waking up from dreams. I feel like it was very hard to keep with, and I feel like this is like the entirety of what this is about is trying to keep up with what's reality, like what is the main
Yeah, that's a good point.
storyline.
Hmm.
So I don't feel like a lot of translation would have affected that. However, I do at the very end maybe translation could have affected something, but in the very middle of this movie, it's very hard to keep up with what's reality, and I think that's the point is to confuse the fuck out of you, and it did a great job, at least on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a mental investment.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, good enough to continue watching into it.
yes,
It developed pretty well.
yeah.
Section 2 is the characters. Do you care about these people?
Go
Eh.
ahead, Trav.
I mean, it's a movie, so it suffers from the fact that you're only experiencing these characters and their story. I think this one was fairly short for a movie. It was only like an hour and
Yeah,
20
hour and
minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, hour and
Yeah.
23 to be exact.
So like you take out credits, like we're talking maybe an hour 15 of a movie
Yeah,
here. It's not a long time. Like really the only one you care about is Mima because she's the only one who has any type of story around her at all.
yeah.
But I don't I don't know. I mean they
No,
seemed okay. They
it
weren't
wouldn't.
this wasn't
Yeah,
like a blow my socks off type of movie. It was good.
no.
I don't know if I'd watch it again,
Hmm.
but like
It was.
their characters they're not really like most of them get killed off. So the
Yeah, there's
Mima's the
not a
only
whole
one.
lot. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of background characters. It's really Mima and her struggle to find out what's real. So, because of that kind of story aspect, there's not really a whole lot of background characters. It's really just Mima, and you can make the the argument for Rumi, but even her, like at the end of the series, you don't really know what's real. So, yeah, I mean, through the entirety of the movie, I cared about Mima and what she was going through, but it went off, and there's not really a whole lot of background characters that you really care about.
Yeah, it definitely does follow Mima's point of view of that whole thing. But I definitely think that you could feel how she
I'm
continually
beneath you.
started to get more uncomfortable with the situation and just yeah, her loss of the grip on things.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
there's
mean,
not really.
yeah, Mima seemed well written, and everybody else was like, meh.
Yeah, there wasn't like a whole lot of side character. It was really just Mima. That was it.
Also, I don't know where to bring this up in our 10 topics, but like Mima was what I would assume 20s, early 20s
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, probably.
And given the age of the movie, it makes sense for the time. But not knowing how to use a computer or never have using the internet is a wild thing to think about in today's
And
world.
I was gonna put that in world building to
Okay, yeah,
where
that's a good point. We can skip
Yeah.
over that for now.
Well, we'll
okay,
get into that because yeah,
all right. Yeah, I think the villain aspect, it definitely started off heavy with the stalker feeling of it all, but then it turned into the psychological side whenever she started to, yeah, like break off and just get more disturbing. But definitely that stalker vibe was always there. It's just the Rumi. She caught me off guard the most. I was like, that
Yeah,
was a twist I wasn't expecting.
yeah.
like
I want to get into this into world building point because I have some questions that need to be answered because I was very confused about the ending.
so yeah, the stalker and the stalker was so I don't want to say like poorly designed, but for lack of a better term, poorly designed in the fact that he looked so fucking hideous that you knew from the first scene that he was shown that he was going to be a fucking
He's
problem.
like,
Yeah, dude, he's like the fucking Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like this
Yeah,
motherfucker looked
that's a good,
bad.
yeah.
yeah, he
Like he
was.
had like some snaggle teeth, fucking eyes, way worse than Rumi's. Like
I
He
his was
had,
like
I
fucking yonder.
I didn't
I
think
think,
I was gonna
he,
dislike character design more in this than I did in Uncle from Another World. This takes the fucking cake. Uncle from Another World is
Yeah,
still by far a solid second, but I mean,
the
this had some ugly motherfuckers in it, dude.
and I think so. I was watching. Whenever I was watching, I was like, "Dude, this motherfucker's so ugly." But then whenever we got to like the halfway point, and she was like emailing or whatever the fuck she was like, she was getting those emails off the website or whatnot.
Yeah, it
I
was
was
like a
like,
blog website.
there's a whole point of him being fucking like the Hunchback. Like he is supposed to be that ugly,
yeah,
and it's apparent whenever in the first scenes of the fucking movie you see him in the background and he's like getting pissed off and he's like holding like his hand up
he's
watching
holding
him
her in his
dance.
hand.
that
Yeah,
that
that's,
scene right there kind
uh-huh.
of just summed up the entire thing to a point where he's just watching her dance in his hand.
Yeah, he definitely did see her as as an possession that he
Yes,
was trying to
yes,
get. But whenever it starts off, you think it's him doing the blog because he's right there. He's at
yeah.
every single event. But some of them definitely are a little bit more in depth where um you just you're still wondering like who is this person?
Yeah, knowing
Yeah,
how it ends, it makes a lot more sense how the blogs are that detailed.
yeah, I agree.
Facts.
Like once you get deep into it you understand.
Yeah. All right. Section 3, animation and visuals. How good does it look?
It's a '90s anime movie. It looks
I mean,
okay.
yeah, they ported it to 4K. Um, it's what you expect. It's nothing to write home about. Fucking Rumi looks, look,
Yeah, even for a movie,
Rumi looks
which
ugly as fuck.
yeah, even for a movie, considering movies usually have much higher like
Production
excuse me,
quality.
production quality and budget. Dude, this
Yeah.
one looked like it was like, hey, we're gonna slap this together with a couple dudes and a couple grand type of movie. Like It's
There were more
okay.
It's
background
like
characters that look better than her.
yeah, like there's Studio Ghibli, and then there's Perfect Blue. Like does it hold
Animation
up?
wise,
Animation wise, does it hold up? Uh, no, in my opinion, no. I felt the visuals were
the
very kind
now
of
the environmental design, especially her room and
environmental.
That's pretty
and
good.
like the
Envir- yes,
stages she's acting on, those are very. That's where I bet 90% of their budget went because it sure as shit didn't go into character design.
but character design and character even the background animation of like the characters, like when they were in the store and they were talking about what is the show that she's starring in?
I can't
Fuck.
I can't remember the show's name, but it was like a crime
Well,
drama type of show.
yeah, like whenever they were
Yeah.
talking about it in the store, it was like very like the visuals like of them talking and things like that were very not great. But it's a '90s anime, so you expect some type of lackluster animation.
Budget.
So it's a '90s anime. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked how it didn't really draw too much attention to the visual side of things. Of course, there aren't like fight scenes or like much
Kind of.
stuff, but it just made it to where the scenes where it was gory or there was action, you definitely just like felt it because you're not over here like what happened because you're watching
And
something else.
sometimes you get glimpses of some really good animation.
Yeah.
Like you get like her face style, like Mima's in particular. You get some like really good animation style for 1 second, and then the next frame is like really bad, or it doesn't hold up nowadays. Back in the '90s, it's probably great, but nowadays you get good visuals, bad visuals. It's a '90s anime. When you watch it, you understand it's '90s. Like it is what it is.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I mean, look at something like Cowboy Bebop, for example,
Oh no, yeah,
which is also 98. This kind of
yeah.
looks animation wise, it's not holding up to even a show.
No, like there are like some points to where I was like, okay, this is not terrible, but then there are it's not great.
I think
Even in
I
the frames that are good, it's not great. It's like mediocre frames, but of course, I mean, it's the age.
well,
Even
yeah.
with the '90s anime, I mean, it doesn't hold up as well at all.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the environmental designs are amazing. Probably, I mean, one of the better environmental designs I've seen in a movie. Because usually movies, it's all about, or at least movies I've seen, it's mostly about the action, you know. So
Mhm.
it was kind of refreshing seeing like so much detail being like I mean just her room alone is wildly
The
detailed.
fish and the
Yep.
fucking like all of the stuff, even in the background, you can see the fish swimming in some scenes or
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, I do agree that like the everything but the character design was very well done and still holds up today. But the character design, in my opinion, is out of what we've done so far, is probably the worst.
For
I
everybody but Mima. And Mima's not that great to
Yes.
be honest.
Yeah,
I
in
do
some scenes.
yeah, I do like the art style. It's very consistent and it made you feel like yeah, you're in the 90s when they're all using landline phones
Yeah.
and
And dial-up
she's
internet. Yeah.
just pulling up her first Mac computer.
And she's
That's
like, "Oh
crazy.
my gosh, I'm gonna spend all my money on this fucking computer
Yeah.
and a
Just
fucking
there.
fax machine." What? Hell
Oh
yes, a
yeah, I
fax
forgot about the
machine.
fax machine.
Let's go,
Mhm.
son.
Yeah, which I wish this anime would do what some of others do, where they add the subtitles over
Yes.
those types of
Yes.
pages. It just helps the viewer keep
Did
up
you
with
have
what's happening.
subtitles on?
No.
No.
It did. If you
Okay.
had
Oh, it
subtitles
does.
on.
Oh, usually for some of them, it's like already like plastered
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. Crunchyroll does that. This was on. I watched it on HBO.
Yeah.
And if you had subtitles on, it did do the.
That makes
You know,
sense.
whenever she got the facts out, it said what it was trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense because if you remember Sound of Silence or Silent Voice, I'm sorry. If you
Silent
had
Voice, yeah.
subtitles on when she was signing, it would tell you what she was saying.
It would tell you. Yeah, yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. All right. Let's go into sound and music. Does it sound like peak anime?
I have a problem with this one, and
Go for it.
there was like for the first 30 minutes there was no music besides when they sang on stage. It was like almost like a blistering silence, which maybe that is like a
I think
point
that's
of the
tone setting.
storyline.
Yeah.
But there was no music to write about really, besides when she was singing on stage.
Yeah.
Like it was very, very apparent that like whenever like they were looking at the whenever she went to become an actress and they were reading the script, it was silent. And I knew this point was going to come up, and I was like, dude, there's absolutely no music or nothing happening. But I think that was building the stage.
I think that was kind of
for-
setting the scene of her like leaving her
Yeah.
idol days behind.
Yeah, it was building the stage for it's quiet.
Yeah, I mean the
And-
first couple scenes, it's her like transitioning from the limelight to everyday life to where she's out doing groceries and like she turn like a choreographed turn and then just like flashback to the shows and then in between either one.
yeah,
So that's very early on that she's I guess already doing something like psychological to her, to where she's still playing out those dance moves out in the
Yeah.
public.
yeah, and even the songs, like of course this is a '90s anime. They're probably not really putting a whole lot of budget into the music that the idols are playing.
Nah.
But if you've seen Oshinoko, of course that is all around idols.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not really comparable.
That is all around idols. But even like when you go to like animes that don't really focus around it, but have it in their repertoire, even the songs kind of fucking blow. To be honest with you,
Yeah. Cham's songs aren't that
Cham
great.
fucking blows.
So yeah, they definitely didn't stand out on their original hits.
I mean, they had music, which is cool, but it's fucking not good.
yeah, whenever that one elevator scene had that boombox blaring,
Oh yeah.
this
Yeah.
would have been dope with like some sort of like just like bass heavy hitting the song to where it's like you hear it come down.
Yeah, instead it's just
And then
Cham.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, left the wrong CD in there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's go into world building and lore. Did the
Okay.
world feel alive?
Yeah, I mean it felt like the 90s. I mean, like I said, it was weird seeing like somebody in their early 20s being like, "Oh, what's the internet? I've never used a computer before. Or how do I do it?" It was
And-
wild to think that, I mean, 30 years ago that was reality for most people.
The scenes that caught me were, so she's in this is based in Tokyo, and there were scenes where you can only assume that it's Shibuya, like they have like a bunch of like pictures plastered on the wall and everything like that, but it's all banners.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no
there's no
digital age.
scenes, yeah.
Graphic wise,
Yeah.
it's
And yeah,
all just banners.
It was wild because it's like if this was a modern day setting, everybody would have had a cell phone. I don't think I saw one cell phone.
No. Just
Uh,
the
the
landlines.
Todioka fucking he had every now and then he had like a flip phone, talking
Yeah.
on the line, like her manager, the
Oh,
boy,
okay.
the man. He had a line every now and then, but like one of the first scenes was them setting up a computer in her house, and this is a fucking dinosaur of a
Yeah.
computer. This motherfucker was fatter than I am. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because it's like Rumi's trying to teach her how to do it, and she's like, "What's a double click?"
Yeah, right. She's like, "What's a click?" I was like, bitch, what?
I was surprised to see her, not like they were bad, but living conditions. How she was in that like narrow.
I think that's
A
just
little
like
It's like a-
I think that's just like a
studio
normal
apartment. Yeah.
apartment type setting because it's all just like one room and then a kitchen bathroom.
yeah.
But for being
So-
like
For being
top
someone
icon,
fairly like somewhat famous, I don't know because like she was on the rise. She wasn't peaking yet. So like it almost seems more realistic that she's somewhere small.
I agree. I think the room kind of matched. I do kind of agree whenever she was coming off the stage of being an idol and she went to the grocery store and she came back to her room. It was very kind of sad looking. But then you kind of got to realize that she's an up and coming artist and she's an up and coming actress. This is kind of like what I would suspect. Now, with the world building, this is kind of when I want to get to this point, and I'm going to kind of go over the last scenes
Fine.
where
Yeah, just do it for it.
okay, so whenever she has her vision mocking her, and it's like every other scene, it's either the vision or Rumi trying to fight her with the fucking ice pick,
That's
and
yeah.
I kind of want to get to this because I have a question, and Izzy, you might be able to expand on this for me. Um, Whenever Rumi slash the Vision gets pushed out into the road, there's a truck coming, and Mima is getting her ass beat for like the past fucking 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and she's sitting in front of the truck that's coming, and she goes and pushes her out of the way. Look, dude, if somebody's coming at me with an ice pick, I'm letting that motherfucker get hit.
I'm not
Why did she run out and
do
push
that.
her out of the way?
I think she definitely is a good person at heart, but I questioned that as well. I was like, why did she just do that? She'd be dead. Like now she possibly has to keep fighting her.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that? And you might be able to expand on this. And this is the big question that I had is why push her out of the way? Let her get fucking hit. She's trying to kill you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think so. The way it ends, the way I took it is, Rumi was the stalker, right? I mean,
That's how I took it.
yeah, she has
Yes.
multiple personality disorder, right? But Mima,
I think it's dissociative
yeah, something like
identity
that. I can't
disorder.
remember what they called it.
Yeah.
But so like Mima, I think maybe kind of realized that something was up with her and was like, I like, Rumi's a good person. Whoever she thinks she is right now is not, but I know the real Rumi. And she's somebody who helped me all throughout my career and is somebody worth saving.
Okay.
That's my
So
guess. I
no,
mean,
I mean that was my only take was that she really realized that it was Rumi. However, in my opinion, it does not. It doesn't make sense when you go back to her waking up in dreams. Like if it was Rumi this entire time, does Mima also have like multiple personality?
No, I think Mima was disassociating with what was happening in her life because it was a big change in her personality for what she used to be known as and what she's starting to get known as. She just like kind of disconnected from it. Like whatever
Okay, so
needed to happen happened.
yeah, because there's a scene that kind of fucked with me a little bit, and I'm gonna spoil a little bit here. So if you plan on watching this, I apologize. Whenever she's doing the acting portion and she's locked in the room, like the questioning room, and they're like, "Oh, she has multiple personality disorder," blah blah blah. And I thought that was a big telltale sign that maybe she does. But whenever she was, how can I say this without ruining our sponsorships? Whenever she was uh, Grape on the stage, I
Yep.
think that would really had an impact on her acting and her well-being.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I mean that's the first time that that Mima, no, not Mima,
Me,
Rumi, yeah, she reacted in a very
yeah, yeah.
like
When she was like crying and she had to leave
yeah.
because Travis, this is the fruit, the grape scene on stage.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that was really the downfall of Mima. I think that was whenever she hit her like this is, And I do agree that maybe she disassociated after that.
I
Yeah,
do think it
100%.
happened a little later whenever she had the photo session, because that was more
Yeah,
of
that was worse.
was the
Dude, that was
Well,
bad.
I think what really made her disassociate, because Rumi, that was the breaking point for Rumi, was when that scene happened, right? And then Rumi went
all downhill.
like no more Rumi, full stalker mode, right?
Mhm.
Like the stalker personality took over, and she's like, "This isn't Mima." And then
No,
her
like
next,
trying to protect her.
yeah, well, not even trying to protect her. It's like, oh, that's not even
The
the real Mima.
idea.
I'm the real Mima. That's when like
Yeah.
her Mima identity came about. She switched from like she went stalker for a second, went on a rampage, then switched to Mima, right? Trying to like,
Yeah.
because idols in Japan, like it's a big thing that they're like, like innocent and pure, right?
Yeah, a bunch of fucking 40-year-old dudes in the first scene watching them sing.
Well, what I'm saying, because like they're like, all the fans want to have the idea that like, oh, I could get with her one day. What if
Yeah.
and that's why like none of them, if they have boyfriends, are not public, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like when that happened, and then the stalking got more intense, and the website got more and more creepy. Like, oh, this isn't the real Mima. Mima's, this can't be Mima. That's when Mima herself started to disassociate, I think.
So
It's-
was Mima, like Mima, you know what I'm talking about, the stalker.
Yeah.
Was that an entire like her thing in her head where she made all that up?
No,
I mean,
I think the way that he looked was made up in her head, but that was, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure that was Rumi, right?
Because
No.
there was a point in like the very beginning whenever after she had an idol performance, she was getting into the car, and somebody gave her a love letter, and she opened it and she pictured back to that fucking Notre Dame looking fuck.
Well, I mean, if you look at their
Um,
eyes, it looks just like Rumi's. you know?
Yeah, like a shark
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. Fucking
there was a
hammerhead
scene
looking
where they
ass.
transitioned amongst
yeah.
those two characters because the idea of it being him transitioned to it being her now. I think
Yeah.
that's how they did
So okay, I just had like a really hard time with the very ending, and I had some questions. So I think I'm sure what's happening. I
So
think I know what's
whenever
going on.
whatever you asked before with the scene where they're like running through the alley and there's mirrors and it like switches from like idol Mima skipping
Yeah, the vision.
floating to
Yeah.
Rumi like panting and like sweating, that's Rumi, and it's
Okay.
just how she's portraying her or thinks she is.
Yeah, because I watched this yesterday, and we were talking about it on Wednesday, and y'all had watched it on Wednesday, and so y'all had known some things that I didn't, and I understand Travis.
Yeah. Well, I said it was
What was
confusing.
going on?
Yeah.
What was going on? So okay, I was just making sure that I knew mentally what was happening at the end because I was very confuzzled.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that it was because at the very end she like was getting in her car. I don't want to spoil anything, so
In her own car, yeah.
Well, fuck y'all. We've
Yeah,
already
so-
talked about the main thing.
and she's like,
That's-
"I'm the real me."
Yeah.
And it's like,
That made me question too. I was like, is Mima also just fucked?
yeah, I was like, are we sure this is Rumi?
I
this
think
is
I think
Donkey
I
Kong?
think
Like-
that was her just coming, like accepting her new role as
like this
and-
is me.
yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Like I'm here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what some stalker or whatever says about me or who people think I am. I'm me, and I'm gonna do what I think's best for me, type of thing.
Okay, I just didn't want. I thought I was like looking at that shallow, but
And I think it was just
The
her like
cliffhanger.
reinstating her resolve to like keep
this is me.
Yeah.
going on
Yeah,
the
this is me, I'm
path
gonna
she
keep going.
chose.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
like
all
that
right,
pop icon, like catchphrase type thing. Yeah.
all right. Yeah.
All right. We dive into the emotional impact section. Did it make you feel something?
Confused. I mean, as far as emotional impact goes, I mean, obviously you want to see the main character successful, and it's, you don't want to see her get hurt. So like, you're kind of, I don't even really want to say scared, but like, you're kind of scared to see where it's going. because
Oh, yeah.
you want her to have a fairly decent ending, like whether she gets mega famous or whether that's her going back to whatever the ending would have been or should have been or whatever. Um, so I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
most of the time I just was too confused to really feel any emotional connection to these characters, you know?
I
Yep.
do agree with that. I felt bad at first because she was getting almost like bombarded, like she was overwhelmed, and I didn't feel that because well I've never been bombarded like that with
Yeah, it's
anything
kind of
like
hard to
reading.
relate.
So I do, yeah, it's kind of hard to relate with this character. Um, and then most of the time I was with Travis. I was confused as hell. Um, but it is hard to relate. It's hard to relate with this character and kind of feel for it. But you always wanted her to do good. You wanted her to succeed in her actressing and get over whatever this fucking creep was.
Hmm. And yeah, for me, I definitely felt like I was disturbed throughout the whole thing because
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
I knew
disturbing.
yeah, definitely disturbed.
there was just weird things happening, and the reasoning for it just started to be less and less clear. But I think this is more of like you have to watch it maybe 2 or 3 times for those things that you missed, and then just are explained to you later,
Hmm.
just to see
Yeah,
if you catch on to something before.
yeah, I did rewatch half of it earlier today at work, um, and that's where I saw like him holding her in his hand. So there's a couple things that I caught after rewatching it. This is definitely at least a double go through that you need to kind of catch everything that happens, like all the subtleties.
Or even rewind like 5, 10, or
Hmm.
20 seconds back just to see what happened and try to understand it fully. Because yeah, if
Yeah,
you're watching it in sub or even the dub, like yeah, the scenes
yeah, I did.
were so tight to where, like I said
Yeah, it
before,
did feel
he
very
goes
rushed.
up and then just disappears.
Yeah, I rewatched the first half because I watched that in sub, and I feel like I wasn't fully paying attention to the animations because I was trying to read. Um, and so I had to rewatch it earlier today to kind of get all of those animations that I missed. And there's definitely some things that I caught that I
And
didn't notice.
it's good, yeah. Some movies they do that so well to where um when you do catch it the second time, it's like more rewarding. It's like, dang, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I should have caught that earlier.
All right, let's get into the originality and identity of the movie. What makes it different?
I mean, the psychological stuff is obviously what makes it different. There's a million movies of a famous person being stalked, like to no
Yeah,
end, you know, or even shows. Like no matter what
Mhm.
form of media, that's a pretty common trope. But I mean, it doesn't really start feeling original until you get into her like disassociating and everything feels like, you know, she's in a dream when she
yeah,
keeps waking up. You know, that's when it starts feeling like okay, something wild's going on. Because at first, like the first 40 minutes, it's like oh, this is a crazy stalker story.
yeah,
Mhm.
So as far as originality, it's I mean half of it you think it's going to be one way and then it's hard left turn.
yeah. I agree. It's like you start watching it, and again, like the first half, like you said, like the first 40 45 minutes, you think that it's going one way, and then its originality hits is when you take that fucking far left, and she starts to disassociating, and she has these like dreams, and she keeps waking up, and you don't know what's real. That's when it becomes super original, but it's a double edged sword because it gets kind of confusing at that point. But I think that's probably the point is to be confusing.
Oh, for sure.
So originality, yes, to an extent. For half of it, it's pretty original.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely kept me guessing the whole time. As it transitioned, it was definitely pretty pretty grounded. It You didn't really have to think too far out of the box. but as things started to show up, that's when it just all made more sense.
Yeah.
He just fucking.
Pretty much. Consistency, does it stay good the whole way through?
Yeah.
I
Yes
mean,
and no.
it's intriguing. I'll give you that. Like, you definitely want to finish it. But like we've said a billion times already, the confusion part kind of almost takes you out of it a little bit at some points. Because, like, at
Yeah.
some, like, when she started waking up and, you know, when the confusion started, it's like, all right, this is getting to be a little bit of a chore to watch and follow. But I mean, I would say, I mean, the plot itself stays consistent because, I mean, it is overall just a famous person stalker story. I mean, if you were to boil it down to its bare minimum components, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So that consistency is there, and you do definitely want to see how it ends. But
Yeah.
when you start having to play mental gymnastics in your own head to figure out what the hell's going on the screen, that's when it becomes a little. That's when I mean, it's still consistent as far as consistency's sake, but that's when it gets a little harder to watch. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No,
What-
yeah, I 100% agree.
What this reminded me of is when you watch one of those like celebrity murder like reenactment shows.
Yeah, or like
Where
a
they
murder
have, like-
documentary
Okay,
where they
yeah,
like try and
yeah.
dramatize everything about it. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does keep track with everything that happens. Like, I mean, it never leads off to a different story or a subplot. It stays true to the entirety of what it went out to get. I do agree that it did get very confusing about halfway through, but it never left.
Hey, did y'all think this show was
that.
confusing?
No, I had a pretty good understanding of it the entire time.
I think as you went on, the insanity of the show or the movie got lower and lower, or the sanity of it,
Yeah.
to where, yeah, you're just done by the end. Like you mentally, or that character is just mentally fried to where they're just like, what is going on? And that's whenever she transitions between the days.
Yeah, and of course that's the point. That is the point of the anime, is to be fucking confusing. Travis, is this confusing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's well written because, like, if you were to place yourself in Mima's shoes, you'd be having, like, you would be as confused as she is, as we are watching it, you know? Because if every day to you felt like a dream and your only reality was like the first 2 or 3 minutes after you wake up, it'd be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, they did very well in putting disassociation to screen.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, feeling confused and feeling that I don't know what's going on, they did that very well. And, of course, we keep saying the word confusing, but that is the point of this movie. So, yes, I think they stayed on track and they did what they went out to do. This is what they went. And
Consistent throughout.
it's
Nice.
consistent throughout.
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoyment factor. Did you guys actually like it?
You know, actually, I wanted to come into this one saying it was just meh. But as we've been talking about it, and like we're breaking down all the confusion parts and figuring it all out together, it's actually making me want to rewatch it again. So, yes, I would say I did enjoy at first, without any of this context, without a conversation around it, I'd say it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
But now that we're talking about it and like y'all are saying some points I missed and we're talking about, you know, trying to put ourselves in the character's shoes a little more, it actually was pretty enjoyable. Like, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, my rating has slowly gone up as we've been discussing it. Because I wanted to come in and be like, this was a 5. But, you know, like, now it's not now. Because I'm like, you know what? Actually, this is all starting to make sense. And this is actually a pretty well fucking written movie.
So I had to rewatch this earlier today. I watched about half of it, the first half, because I knew there were a lot. I feel like that whenever I was watching it yesterday, this is too in depth than what I saw. I saw the very, I guess, the first layer of what this anime is. So I wanted to go back and rewatch the first half and kind of get a more in-depth feeling of what I missed. And as I was watching it, yes, like this is a very well written anime. Even when it gets confusing, um, that is the point, and it kind of cemented that aspect in the story for me.
Yeah, I definitely would go a little bit, I guess, above liked and would say it's like watchable.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it isn't something that it's like, yeah, oh my gosh, you have to go watch this. It's like if you're in that, if you're in the neighborhood, give this a watch.
yeah. I mean, we watched Mashal. That's like something that I could just throw on in the background and just kind of watch and do whatever. This, this is something that you have to have your entire focus on.
All the
Like
seatbelts buckled.
you
Yeah.
have to be paying attention to every fucking scene,
Hmm.
and that is what makes this show good or this movie good.
Yep.
Because you have to have full focus on it.
Yeah. Sweet. So now let's go into the impact and legacy of the movie. Does it matter?
Could it be? Wait.
Oh.
Could it be a series?
No.
Uh,
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe like a Togepi, like a 6 episode. Like it could have used another hour. I don't think it could use
Yeah.
the full 12.
I agree. I think it's very maybe like a 5, 6, 7, maybe max 7 episode anime. But I feel like you lose your luster
Quick, you would lose
because
it
it is
quick.
back to back. You would lose like that back to back fucking like confusion aspect, doing it through episodes. So I don't think that it could be an episode based series. Needs to be a movie, in my opinion.
yeah, all you could really do
Because
is
you would lose
stretch
that.
some scenes and probably build the tension a little more to where the like actual like the levels are high enough to where you're like, dang, all right, what's happening? Like, what are we getting into? But
My thought was like from episode, like if you were to put it in an episode category, episode 3 she wakes up from a dream, right? And then episode 4 she probably wakes up from a dream, and so you kind of lose that
uh-huh.
back to back kind of getting to the point aspect. So in my opinion, no.
Yeah, I think 8 would have been fine. Not overstretched, but just like a little bit more laid out.
I
I
think.
don't think it could do it at all.
Well, between episode, or I think it could have used 20 more minutes.
20.
Like, if it was 2 hours, or even 40 minutes, like, minus credits. If it was 2 hours, I think it would have been, like, the ending, as far as, like, the Rumi reveal, could have been played out a little longer, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, you know what? I'd say if it had 20 more minutes, I think a lot of this initial confusion wouldn't have been as confusing. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it could have been a show unless it was a 6 episode show. Like no more than six. Six maybe would even be pushing it.
I don't even think that it could be an episode based series.
It'd be
I
hard.
don't think it would be
It would.
very difficult. But I think it kind of feeds off of that. This is a movie. You have one storyline. There's no stops. That's what it bases itself on. That's where the confusion comes in. You can't break that up.
I could almost just see you like stretch out the beginning part a little more, where you're a little bit more connected to Mima in her personal decision to switch from being a singer to an actress, and seeing how well it's going for her as a singer, but the reasons why she wants to switch. Throw that a little bit, right? 20, 30 minutes. Then you got a couple sections in between to where it's the paranoia and just the obsession growth that you could tie into a little more, to where when that one dude's reading the website, that's when I thought it was him. I was like, yeah, it's gotta be. Like, he's typing
With
it.
all the pictures on the wall, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's typing it, but no, he was just a fan also. But
Yeah.
diving in a little bit into that would be nice.
Yeah. Again, I agree with Travis. I think it could use about 20 more minutes, but I think it kind of fed off of it being a straight storyline.
Yeah. It did what it did. So
It
let's
did
give
what
it
it
a
did.
final score.
As far as movies go, like if I'm rating it against other anime, it's gonna be low. But as far as movies I've seen, I'd give it a 7.5.
Valid.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I give it 7.75. Go 7.75. As far as movies go,
Fucking trying to
I think
price this
this is
right
what
now
our.
over
This
there.
is only our. Well, we're shut up, dude. Those are confusing. I think when it goes to movie wise, I had the idea of 7.75, just because. And again, this is the point, but for me, as a common white guy watching it, it was very confusing at the time. So I gave it 7.75.
Nice. I definitely think I'll give it a 7.6. And yes, I think with
That's
the
right.
rewatchability, you would jump up to um, an 8.3. Just in the artwork, that's enjoyable to watch, but the story is a little bit more fluid
It's
for you
very
to
close
follow.
to an 8. Yeah, I agree. It's very close to an 8 for me after rewatching it earlier today. But 7.75 is what I've kind of landed on. So yeah, I agree. Rewatch it.
Sweet. Well, that
Uh-huh.
is it.
All right. So next week we are finally watching Fate Strange Fake. The week after
Yes.
that is Too Many Losing Heroines. Izzy, have you ever
Yes.
come up with one yet?
I have not.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll keep waiting on that. You got 2 weeks, so you got time. Um,
So,
and then after that, we'll restart the cycle, I guess.
Yeah, I think we got
So
Fritter in season 2 is fully out.
y'all want to
nice.
go show
On the
show show
table.
movie, or do you want to do show 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 and show show until we run out, and then we do throw in a movie? Like how we want to?
Let's
Hold
do.
on, hold on.
Well, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not as well versed into anime movies as Izzy is. So anytime that Izzy, you want to throw out a movie idea
Throw a
after we've
movie.
done like two. If you want to do like two
I
shows,
got one.
and if Izzy's got a movie, throw down a movie.
Yeah.
I got,
Yeah,
I
I think
got,
we
I
can
got,
start
I got a
a little bit.
movie. It doesn't. I don't care when. It can be whatever. But Cosmic Princess Kaguya was super good, and I think y'all would like it.
Okay. Well, we can do show because me and Izzy got some in the barrel. So do show movie.
Sure, works for me. We can keep that
Sure.
rhythm going.
So
Yep.
we can get Izzy on a next show and then kind of go to a movie, and then we can also do something that's not
It can be
movie
whatever.
or show related. Another just throwaway show. Those
Yeah.
are fun.
Yeah, I like those.
Sure.
That was fun. All right, well, we'll stop it there. We'll talk about ideas off stream, but thanks for anybody watching, or thanks for rewatching whenever I finally upload it to YouTube. I'm usually a week late every time, but yeah, y'all take it easy. Peace.